Wait only. Got plenty of room. Great weight. Line was good too. I just gave you a little too much. Yeah. Yeah. Nice shot, Jim.
He knows it.
Oh my God.
It stays pretty straight, so don't worry about it. You don't have to kill it, just regular.
Go right here. Same weight. Yes.
Let it come. Gotta
Yes.
move, gotta move. Nope, nope, nope. Nothing, nothing. Nothing, nothing.
Get lower.
Nothing at all. That's
Oh my
fine.
God.
Beautiful.
Okay. Two is fine. Let it move a little. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, bring it a bit. Bring it a bit. That's fine. Good recover.
Normal.
No worries.
Right, Pam. You know what to do.
Whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Sweep. Yep, yep. Yeah. Right. Ice is key. Good shot, Jim.
Top 8. Behind.
Guard. Careful on the way. Ice is hot. You gotta finish that.
Yeah, sweep. Yeah, hard. Hard. Yes. Bring it in.
Looks like it's in here.
Okay, up, 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 up. Clean. Just clean.
Should have had sleep, probably.
Yep. Hard line. Actually,
Yep. Yep. Give me board weight.
One in here, Pam.
Go hard, go hard, go hard.
Yes.
Sleep. Something over here. What? We're narrow. We're narrow. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
All the way. Keep going, keep going. Stay on it hard.
Pick it out there.
Use the scar. Use the scar.
Back. Actually, give me back line.
Oh, bring it in. Okay. Yeah, push it in, push it in.
Wait.
Pull. Right down to it. All right, I'll take that.
Sweep.
That's second shot.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Maybe roll that way.
Whoa, get close. Whoa. Yep.
Great shot.
There we go.
Whoa.
All right, so can we hear things now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Welcome to curling, everybody. So this is a game that involves ice
Get out, Arthur.
and rocks.
Normal weight.
and cold people.
And for those of you who don't recognize my voice, this is TJ again, back behind the controls of the cameras, and with me right now is Mike Churlo on the commentary.
Yeah, otherwise known as Chip from Chip Chat. Officially a broadcast professional.
Right back.
So we're watching Sheet B here. If you're watching on the video feed, you can sort of peripherally catch some of the other sheets and see what's going on.
And we'll try to get you score updates as best as we can.
Right, if there's something specific you want to see, let us know, and then we'll ignore that.
Like here.
Yeah, but
Yes. Yes, yes.
And we see that we have 15 viewers, so welcome and thank you for spending the afternoon with us.
We should have a lot more coming up pretty soon because I heavily promoted the live stream. So the idea here is to break the record for the most people watching Potomac live stream. So if you're watching now, call all your friends and make them watch too. And if they say no, then they're not really your friends.
On the other hand, they may have been watching the broadcast earlier when I was running the camera and got sick of my making everyone sick. So
yeah, well, don't do that. All right, here goes the rock.
Whoa.
Yellow rock.
Yep.
I didn't see what the call was, but it looks like a hit based on how hard she threw it and how hard they're sweeping.
nice roll on the cover.
Le whack.
So right now it is yellow lying 2. Red has a biter out in the back 12, and yellow has a biter up at the top 12.
You know what we call those biters in the back?
We call them flops.
No, Marv Albert.
One comes from the inside.
Wasn't going to go there.
Yeah.
Buffer.
So here goes red. Looks like they're trying to draw in. Get underneath of those yellows. It seems like a good plan. Doesn't look like it's moving quite as much as they had hoped, though. Ends up high and easily hittable.
But it is currently second shot.
Yeah, currently is a relative term here. It looks like,
Okay.
Well, Gabe is clearly calling for the hit.
yes. So the team names, by the way, they're good. So the red team is the Marylanders. It's very creative. But the yellow team is the Venison Sticks, which is less creative than Marylanders. So they're calling a pretty tight hit. And it looks like Stephanie's going to throw Le whack.
I feel like teams should tell us why they chose their names, because that's
Yeah.
always the fun, interesting story.
We should have an interview section of this show. Ask people. 'Cause there's a lot of good names in curling. I feel like people spend more time thinking up their names than they do actually curling.
Well, Chip's just saying that because we're on a team together called like Sweep to the Slaughter.
Yeah, which we spend way more time thinking up than actually curling. Oh man, that did not curl up as much as they'd have hoped. They ended up nearly doubling their own out. One of them's gone and put the red a little more undercover. But it,
Well, yellow is second, third, and I think fourth shot.
right.
But sorry, yellow is second, third, fourth shot. Red is still first shot.
But if red can successfully cover their rock, they're looking pretty good. This is Skip Stones here, so there's a good chance that there could be some success here, or failure. That's really the drama of sports, which curling is barely one of.
Over here. This is a dangerous shot. It's not in.
we have this argument frequently on the ice as to what constitutes a sport and what does not constitute a sport.
Yeah, it's the easy answer is it has to involve a ball or a puck, and you have to be able to play defense. So by curling, it's got big pucks, but lots of defense, so it meets the rules.
Line is good. Line is good.
It looks like they're a little concerned for the weight on this rock here that Red's just thrown.
They're cleaning is more what I think.
You think so?
I think so.
It looks light.
Oh, definitely
it's
it's light.
And it doesn't look like it's curling up as much as they'd want to
Well, it
cover
looks
up.
like to me, it looks like they chose a plan B, and it does a decent job of narrowing down the window there for Gabe. to
A
throw
little
something in
bit, but I'm pretty pretty confident he can gun it through there if he wants to.
Well, you'd like to think so, given his own resume.
Yeah, he's a wannabe Olympian actually.
I don't know. There's a wannabe about it. He has played in the European
International
Championships.
Yeah, for Israel. How it got into Europe, I don't know. Clever map making, I guess.
A very long political story that I think I will keep off this broadcast.
Okay, fair enough. So here comes Gabe to throw his rocks, which you can identify by the massive amount of blue now filling your screen.
You have to admit, the turquoise pants make an impression.
Yeah, the Kempenich boys are known for their flashy dress.
Now, what you can see barely out of the corner of your screen sometimes over on sheet A is the Long Island Club is all in orange and blue and have very, very customized pants. They're kind of neat.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like he threw a real gunner at it, and it looks like it's moving a little more than they thought. And they got to get it right through that port, which they did.
Nice shot.
And it got a little roll under cover. That's about as good a shot as you could have thrown right there.
There you go. And that's how this game goes sometimes. It's a swing of red sitting 1 to yellow sitting 4.
Sweep it, flying. We need flying. Keep sweeping.
They're trying to put it back, cover it up. I don't know what they were trying to do.
I think they were trying to do a tap, like raise
promote.
takeout.
Yeah.
With that much weight.
It seemed like that was pretty. That was heavy. If they'd managed to get it squarely on, it probably would have knocked the yellow all the way to the back of the house. But I doubt it would have gone out.
But I think at this point you got to look at putting the guard back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 options here for red in the end, which is if they cover up the center, they can come try to bounce off of the yellow that's in the 12. Otherwise, but no, the smart move and smart money is on putting the guard in front of the.
That was red's last rock, so it doesn't really matter. So all you got to do is, yeah. All Gabe's got to do here is touch paint for a bunch.
That's what I get for believing what I see on my screen.
Yeah, well. Who are you going to believe, me or your own lying eyes?
No, it was more that it was set up before I came to the console with red having hammer. So
it feels
I did
like
not realize that. So he's going for, this is touch for 5.
Just blame your predecessor. That's how we do things nowadays. He's throwing that pretty hard for just touching paint. I think they're trying to hit that other red one out of there because they're worried that it's out-counting one of their other ones. So they're going to try to run it back onto it and punch it out of there. I think they got it, too. They did.
They did. Doesn't stick around.
If it sticks around, well, I could have swept that out.
Count them all, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was a little greedy, I would say, if I can editorialize.
I'm stopping you from editorializing?
No, I mean, what? Nobody's watching this anyway. Probably.
Well, there are 15.
15, yeah. They probably. That's as many people as listen to my show.
I'm sure more people than that listen to your show.
Yeah, it's actually quite a few. Many thousands, in fact. But, you know, Conan O'Brien made a career out of talking about how he's in imminent threat of being canceled because nobody watches his show, and, 20 years later. So we're stealing Conan, is what I'm saying.
There you go. Well, if you're going to steal from someone decent.
Yeah. Plus, he, ginger, so nothing would happen.
No soul.
Yeah. Can't tell that it's even happening. And if you're a ginger and you're listening, we're sorry in advance for all of their problems that you'll have in life. So yellow's thrown. I guess they were trying to throw center guard, but it looks like they threw it just a little bit too much. It's all the way in under the tee. Sort of daring red to go after it, I guess. Is that a hit? They're throwing in. Or they're trying to just kind of draw down to it or sit on it or something?
I would say that has to look like a hit with that much weight.
Not that much weight.
Although they got it.
They did get it. Nice. Chipped it off. Swept out of there.
Gabe puts a broom to it. Back to empty house.
So that seems like, you know, with a 5-point lead in the first, sort of tossing them in and making them chase you is a pretty good strategy. We'll see if it prevails or if they get bored. That's like a large part of this game is keeping your concentration, especially if you're doing what is essentially the same thing over and over again. You know, you throw something, they take it out, you got to put it back, keep that up until somebody breaks their concentration. That can have a big effect. So that one came up way short.
Oh, that's an okay center guard.
Sure, but isn't what he called.
Gotta always consider the plan B.
Naturally. Or F. Plan F, the best plan.
That's why I thought we could get it a 4.
None of us would be here if it weren't for Plan F.
I'm like, this ain't going nowhere on the inside.
Doesn't get enough recognition these days. So that was a pretty good shot by Red. They were able to just draw it right in. Little deep. Looks like he's going to get it. Yep. And Gabe swept it the rest of the way out. So now he's going to try to hide under his guard. Which is a long guard, so even if he does hide under it, you know,
It should be reachable.
you could chip it out.
Top 4, okay.
This team is heavily interested in Wisconsin, by the way. The Venison sticks. Well representing. So if you're from Wisconsin and you're watching this, we're sorry that you're from Wisconsin. They're sweeping it because I think they were worried it was going to run the guard, but now it looks like it's curling in real nice.
Got a little bit of room.
Not quite as deep as they wanted, maybe, but it's got to finish curling. Not,
I think it'll curl up nicely. There it goes.
yeah, there he went. Hooked up right there, the last little turn.
And stopped right on the tee.
That's a box. Box shot. We have new rocks here, by the way. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that during the broadcast, but these rocks. This is the very first cherry blossom played with these rocks. So you know, they're busting their cherry tonight.
Now, speaking of stuff out Midwest, though, we actually still have a team in the mixed national championships in the playoffs tonight.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's big boy curling.
That's big boy curling.
Yeah,
Hunter and Caleb are playing in the mixed.
it's true. Actually, they're little boys, but much better than all the big boys that curl here at the time.
It's not the juniors.
Okay.
Well, I will say, so for anybody who is listening, I did once beat the Clausens in a game in Pizza League in which they had 4 spares. But on paper, it says victory, Sherlow over Clausen. Big achievement for me. That's coming down, looking like it's just going to tap it and sit real still. Pretty good shot.
Got a little roll.
Tiny
It's
bit.
still out in the open.
Yeah. I think they probably would have preferred another 1.5 foot over.
Although hitting that doesn't win you very much. You can still be second
No,
shot.
no. I mean, yeah, there's still plenty of room, and obviously they still could have gotten after that shot rock. Doesn't look like I think they're going after the guard. Try to peel it. Or even if they weren't trying to, that may be what's about to happen.
Yeah, it looks like they're past
Nope, they got past it, so they're just going to go after that deep rock. Very good shot. Very good shot.
A minimal roll. That's exactly what you want to do at this point.
So now there's a nice little crotch in which to sit it.
But that's not what Gabe's going to do.
Yeah, it's always good to sit things in the crotch. But Gabe doesn't like the crotch, so he's going to uncrotch this shot. He's going to throw right at that red, I guess.
See, if it were me, I would want to hit it a little bit over towards the broom side of it. Get a slight bit of roll to separate.
Yeah, yeah. As long as they can stay even on the tee or just a little bit, if you get a little bounce off of it so that there isn't like a pinball double available.
Exactly.
And they're throwing with a stick, so they've got some of that extra weight. And if you give them that one that's out a little bit to that broom side there, the one that's covered up underneath is a little harder to get to at big weight, but the one that's outside you'd be able to hit and bounce off. So I think a hit and stick or maybe even roll 2 is not the worst thing that could happen here.
And that's exactly what it looks like he's going to get.
Good little whack, and it's going to roll right out of there. Oh, that's fine.
I know it's fine.
It's nearly what you asked for, except
A little too thin.
Yeah, a little too thin. Much like your hair these days.
Yeah, well, happens to all of us eventually.
Unlikely.
See, what I would do at this point, this is just me editorializing, is I would actually sit on that stone sitting there.
Yeah. Well, and if you could just nudge it back ever so slightly, maybe.
But even a corner freeze biting the button.
Yeah.
And as I look up at the monitor overhead, we can see that it is just off of the button.
Right. Well, and especially with that high guard there, it would make it difficult to sort of remove that stone if it was corner frozen to it, because the rub would keep it in place. You'd have to get a real thin chip. It looks a little heavy.
Oh, but as we were discussing, keep nudging back.
Right. It's probably not a bad thing. Ooh, just clears the guard. It's coming right down to it very nicely, and it got the little roll. That's sitting on the button.
And that's gorgeous. Now, the only problem I would say is I suspect that is completely open from the hack.
Yeah. That rock is as open as an envelope on tax day. A little financial humor for you. Implying that people want the refunds. I don't even know if you got that. We still have 15 people, so we're obviously not ruining their lives. That's good.
Or they have the volume off.
Yeah, that's also pretty likely. That's how most people listen to my show, actually. All right, so yellow is kind of throwing right at it. That's got plenty of weight there. Trying to see if it'll curl up a little bit, and so that it'll get a roll and go underneath, but it's going to hit it a little thin, and they ended up punching their own out, which was always the risk there. But hey, with a 5-rock lead, not the worst thing.
I think it's on the guard now. Oh.
So still an empty house because it ran the guard.
Yep.
Now a long and complicated discussion will ensue over how best to touch paint at all. There's two things to hide underneath here. The question is whether you draw the port and hide under the red, which is a longer guard, to the middle, or whether you try to go to the corner and hide under the yellow, leaving that draw open, but also potentially to be able to hit it out. Over on C, there's a lot of stuff going on. Many, many rocks in play. And kilts. Apparently Maryland colored kilt.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Who knew that Maryland was in Scotland? So it looks like they're trying to draw the port and curl up to the middle, but it looks like it's moving quite a lot. That is really hustling. But it's plenty deep. May not finish quite as hard as they were hoping. That's going to sit out there in the open.
That's perfectly fine.
Box.
All right, so here comes the hammer, the second end.
I think so.
Fairly sure.
Well, you're the one that's better at math, so it seems like you would know.
Although...
That was Gabe's first rock, and he's...
You're right. No, there's still two more.
Yeah, they led, so that I think See, look at that. I knew something twice.
I did warn that my mathing is not very strong some days.
You need to drink more.
That's the other half of the problem is I haven't had anything yet.
So if anybody's listening who knows me, I am on 0 beer today. No beer for Chip because I have to, after this, go home and schlep the little one back. So there'll be no drinking and driving of small children. The children can drink. I can't because I'm driving.
My wife frowns upon the children drinking.
Well, frowns upon isn't the same thing as prohibiting. That's going to clear the guard nicely. It's coming right down to it. Looks like, and it's going to be protected. That is a really good shot. Great shot, Red. So now they're going to have to decide whether they want to come out it from the outside or from the inside and try to chip it out, or if they just want to sort of out count to hold them to one in a way that they wouldn't be able to get to. But I think they're going to go after it.
Nope.
Well, they are going to draw in.
He's going to pull in to freeze on it.
That's a ballsy call. Got big stones to make that call. Big granite ones.
42 pounds.
Yeah, with yellow handles. It's a medical condition, actually, so we shouldn't make fun of it. All right, he's lining up for this shot here. Here it comes.
That seems like a lot of weight.
Yeah, it does. But they're hoping that it's going to get to it. Maybe they're trying to get a little chip off of there and roll out, roll over. Oh, it slowed up nicely. They really did get the weight pretty good on that. That worked pretty good. She hustles. All right, well, Red can draw this port for 2. All they got to do is touch the forefoot.
Yeah, they have to touch red.
Red on red. That's illegal in a few states. "15 people that are watching, seriously, go find some friends and tell them to watch too. I feel like you're not doing your part. This is a team game, right? And therefore a team effort.
It's an intimate crowd.
Also illegal in many states. That looks like that thing's really flying down here. That better hit some pocket sand soon, or it's going to go way too far. Oh, that did a good job of slowing up, but swept off of the 4. So they're only going to get the 1. 1 against 5. Tough end. Tough end, also a position illegal in many states.
All right, let's come into the pile.
If you're looking at the feed and you can see the people standing down here staring at the window, it is because they're looking at us. But they would lie and tell you it's because they're watching some real curling on the big telly.
Is there real curling on the big television?
I don't know. I mean, is there even such a thing as real curling?
Well, there is all week. There's been all week at the Women's Worlds.
Women curl? That's a new thing, I guess.
It's going to hit that top yellow one, let it cross the base and pop it into the other.
I feel like curling should be on TV probably about as often as it's on TV.
Actually, we are enjoying a huge amount of it lately.
Yeah, it's true. Well, NBC shows curling to the Americans, which is nice.
Well, the issue was this week they were showing, I think they committed to 100 hours of live curling between the men's, women's, and mixed doubles.
Are there 100 hours of curling, or does it just seem that way? I can tell you when I'm on the ice, man, by like the second end, I'm like, this is taking way too long. And whack!
Close. Nice roll. Oh, actually, there is curling on the TV behind us.
Don't watch that. Watch our curling. Much
I'm
better.
watching our curling.
No, not you. The humans. The humans at home. There is no other curling for you to watch. This is your only option.
Well, in fairness, the TV we have here in the curling club has Canadian satellite television.
Right. So it's really sorry all the time.
Swing and a miss.
It's also how we
Oh,
know.
It's a replay.
It's a replay. It's not even good curling. I mean,
Well, it's great curling, but it's a replay of this morning's
we don't
1-2
want
page.
the people, all 6 of them watching, to leave. So don't offer them alternatives. There's literally nothing else on television at all. The entire internet is broken except for this site. This is the only thing you can watch.
Line looks fine.
To contradict my co-announcer, no, it's TSN, and most of you do not have TSN.
Line's great.
But they have the internet, so, you know.
I don't think you can get TSN in the United States.
I don't know if you know how the internet works.
I do know how the internet works. I'm
But
trying to pretend.
you can get anything you want.
I'm trying to pretend.
Very nice, Captain.
Up to and including yellow cake uranium and various other horrible things. Also, we should give credit to TJ's masterful board operation with these cameras here. They're not automatic, they just seem that way.
He's just saying that because he hasn't seen me screw up yet this draw.
That's true. I have not.
As I have said before, someone told me a trained monkey could do this, and I am very clearly not a trained monkey.
More like an ape. Sort of large, less furry ape.
I don't mind this.
Really, Gabe? You don't like that?
A little roll this way's fine too. Normal.
At least he's not said yet that it offends him.
Right. He's having a conversation mostly with himself, but loudly enough that his team can hear it. So Jeremy's going to huck a yellow rock at the thing that Gabe doesn't like.
Yep.
That's usually how it works with my kids, too.
Yes. You huck rocks at them or they huck rocks at you?
No, I say I don't like things and they throw rocks at them.
Oh, that's good.
Great throw.
Well, that was a hit and roll way out of the way.
But it's still good. I mean,
Pretty good shot.
That is okay doubleable, but that's way out on the wing.
Yeah, and it seems like something you wouldn't chase after, but it could be a factor later, if depending on what's sticking around. I mean, they did get 5 by playing to the edges too. So
The other possibility.
it looks like they're going after the shot rock.
Well, the other possibility is draw down to it, nestle on that back one.
Just give them a little nestle.
Yeah,
Nestle
that's
right
definitely a hit.
into the crotch. Yeah. And it looks like it's a successful hit too. And slightly undercover if that.
And
if
it's
you
actually
cared
yellow
about
still
that.
counting.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if you were going to go in for the crotch, it would have hit the outer one
5-6.
first.
Right. Naturally.
So Gabe is splitting the house now by throwing the stone to the other side.
Also bold move. Generally, you don't want to split things that you need later, like a house. Because then you know you have 2 pieces of a house. Not as helpful.
Let's do the cake-off.
Curling is a counterintuitive game. A lot of the things that you say you're going to do, if you did in real life and not in the context of curling, would be awful.
That looks like it's going to be deep.
Yeah, it looks like he threw that a little much.
That is now the shot stone.
But I believe he wanted it north of the tee line, and it's substantially past it, so they can come down and sit on it, or they can, which I think it's, or they're going to hit it, I guess. They got this team has a lot of stick curlers, so hits with a stick are
Easier.
a little bit easier, actually quite a lot easier, because unlike when you push out of the hack, that's the fastest you're going when you're sliding regularly. But with the stick, you can continue to build speed, or at least not lose any as you're walking up to deliver, and then you also have that extra leverage that the stick provides. So if you're really trying to bash something out of there, the stick is definitely the way to go. Assuming you can hit anything with it. I mean, if you can't hit the broadside of a barn, it's not going to help you at all.
We want to stick around.
Speaking of the broadside of a barn, look at this hit that Gabe's going to call.
I like normal, just nose.
Hey, make sure you put it on the back ice first, please.
No, this doesn't have a thing on it.
Nothing.
All right, the windup,
Nothing at all.
and here's the pitch. Now, unlike baseball, this is going to take 47 seconds for the play to complete. She threw a ton of weight at that thing. It does not look like it's moving quite the way that they want it to, but it's still going to get there. Get the contact, and at that weight, that should be enough.
Oh,
And swing and a miss. Shows what I know. That is a rare miss at this level of curling for an open hit. So red is now seizing the opportunity of the screw up by yellow here to try to split the house their way and make them chase things, I think.
now remembering in mind, bearing in mind that yellow does have hammer.
Right. Well, instead they froze down on top of their rock. So now that's a double.
Yeah, so that is very doubleable.
Yeah.
You want like that?
Even a trained ape like us can do it.
All right. Yeah.
Just the question of which way she feels more comfortable coming at it.
What's okay, me?
Apparently she's going to do the righty-tighty instead of the lefty-loosey.
I prefer that too, actually.
Do you?
It
You're
gives
throwing
you
the hits?
It gives you more room for error.
Yeah, it's true. Because it's too easy to, like, really just roll it if you're rolling your wrist in as opposed to, you know, screwing the jar closed as opposed to open. Plus, you get a little more push, I think.
Yep.
Pretty strong delivery there. Plenty of speed. They're not sweeping it. Oh, now they go.
Get hard. Hard.
Concerned about, wow, that really started to curl a lot. Is she going to miss again?
Oh,
That is a rare, even more rare double whiff.
she's missed on both sides now, unfortunately.
Yeah. She looks pissed.
Misses happen.
They do. And you have to be able to deal with it by stomping around on the ice and being upset about it.
The important thing to remember in all these occasions is that which stone is the most important stone?
The hammer
The next
or
one
the
you're going to
counter.
throw.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You're
You
like a
can't fix the-
philosopher king.
You can't fix the one that you threw already. You can only worry about the next one.
That's like the thing about the milk and crying. When you drink milk, it makes you cry. Oh, that's not how it goes.
No.
How come nobody's correcting us? And I don't think they are listening, honestly. I think they just got the volume down.
I think they tuned in for the last game because they wanted to listen to Joe.
Yeah, that sounds right. You think we should test it?
Well, it would require finding Joe.
Well, how would they know if they've got it on mute? They wouldn't know that Joe's arrived. Unless there's a camera on us. Is there a camera on us?
No.
Oh, well.
I have a face made for radio.
Yeah. So do I. Been doing it for 2 years now.
If I didn't have a face made for radio, people wouldn't make me play lead.
Are you sure those things, like, correlate?
Well, yeah, they usually have me hide behind the broom bag, stuff like that.
Oh, that
You
yeah.
forgot about that.
No, that
How long
seems
have we
fair.
played together?
I mean, honestly, dude, I don't pay a lot of attention to curling.
Because I'm usually hiding behind the bag.
I just show up to drink and make fun of curling.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Occasionally, I make a good shot. It's a pretty rare occasion. So now they got a lot of stuff to deal with here, but that hit is back and easily doable in the double, and now there's even cover. So if yellow can manage to strike this just the right way, they can get the double and roll under cover. And I believe that's the plan. We shall see. All right, so he's throwing just a ton at it.
Yep, wide.
Oh, that was off right away. I think he's narrow. I think he's narrow. He's going to run that guard real hard.
Although
Maybe they're going to get a
guard is
double.
also just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yes.
That hit that just the right way, actually, that it could stick around and provide cover. So now they could draw and outcount both of those reds under that newly minted guard. Good plan F. Red's going to try to put it back, of course, which still wouldn't prevent the draw under. And with a big lead, taking one is not the worst thing that you can do. So
Exactly. Oh, this looks like it's definitely heavier.
yeah, it is. That's going deep. That might end up making a triple opportunity here. It's coming deep in there. Yep, it's going to nestle right up to the other. All right, so now.
I don't think the triple is there, because I think that if you hit back that one onto the other two, that's going to jam on the front of the
Yeah,
two.
the smart thing is to just hit this like square on the nose and roll in. This is hammer anyway, so.
If you really want to throw a lot of weight at it, and you catch it, say about 7 o'clock, you can kick it across the face of the second stone, which would kick that stone back into the back one, and you could send all three skittering.
But
That
then
is
you'd have to
serious
stick
circ-
around, and you'd still maybe get.
They wouldn't. You'd still have the one out on the wing.
Yeah, you'd get one that way.
It would be a huge circus
Or
shot.
you can just draw for one. We get full 4 and you're in.
He's
and
not
it's-
going for that. He's going for the hit.
Yeah, well, of course he is. But, I mean, where would the drama of that be if he just drew in? But the conservative, much safer, probably better call if you didn't have a big lead would be to just draw to the 4, get full 4 foot, take your 1, and you know.
I think you are wholly discounting how Gabe plays his game. Gabe would
Well,
go
no,
for the
I
hit
know.
anyway.
That's why he's doing this. He's not listening to us. Neither the 15 other people. That does not look like it's heavy enough to do what he's hoping it'll do.
Maybe he's decided to kind of, no.
He's going to hit and stick, I think is what he was trying with that kind of weight, but he got away with it, maybe. They really hustle there. Nope. That's going to give him 1 to the red.
1 red.
Well, go big or go home, and it only costs him 1, so that seems pretty decent.
Where'd you end before? On another group of the ice. Where did you end before? Stop it! Up there? All right, do that.
You can hear the yelling on the ice. Apparently somebody's upset. So now Red got the 1. They got the lead rocks here. They're clawing back, you know. I mean, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts is painful, but probably good for the Hammer Mill Company.
Wasn't that like our nickname at some point, Team Chinese Water Torture?
Yeah, but that's offensive to water torture. So we had to change it to something else Chinese.
Hey, just try to split it. Halfway.
I mean, he missed, but he didn't miss the worst way, right? So we can't give him a
No, I mean, he
too
did
much.
what he could.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
more
no,
fun
he
to
could have
do.
drawn in and got 1, and instead he gave them 1. So he didn't do exactly what he could. But now he's going to chase after theirs. So they threw it in the house, and he's going to chase after it.
Play hard.
Sort of the mental question here is, can Team Venison sticks get out of their heads with those misses earlier on those hits, because it's so easy to, especially after 2 of them, to sort of overcorrect, and even if it's not you that threw it, the whole team gets affected by that, because you start to play tight and you aim instead of deliver, to put it that way. So Red's going to just throw one back in there, I guess, and I think they're maybe trying to throw a guard here because this is a little lighter, but it's still going to come in. That's going to get to T+.
It is really hard to throw draws with the stick.
Yeah.
Not throw draws, I'm sorry, to throw guards with the stick.
Well, or guards at all. I mean, people sort of undercount that, but that's sometimes the harder shots to throw, especially because you got to figure you're using a portion of the sheet. You don't even have the whole sheet, right? So you have to curl at a different time, and you have to land and stop it in a different place, and it's on the part of the ice that's the most worn down, too. Now they're chasing after. That looked like that maybe hit something. That thing started to really take off. But it's going to get there, I think. And it did. So now it's another empty house again. Much like my last 3 birthday parties.
Ooh.
Yahtzee.
Pity party.
Huh?
Pity party.
Yeah, pity party. Cheaper. You don't have to feed as many people.
That's heavy.
So red's gonna, I sort of stick with this strategy of attempt at the guard, but if it goes in, that's okay too. It looks light, but it's just sailing. I mean, yeah. If you're watching on screen, they're sweeping behind it because that works actually mathematically. So that just carried and carried and carried. Gabe's trying to sweep it a little deeper. But I think he's still going to hit it here. Just trying to hit it and clear out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently somewhere along the way the stones offended him.
I feel like we should change his name to Motown.
Because the hits keep coming?
That's right. That was good. I didn't have to explain that to you. It shows your age.
They could have. No, you're right, John.
Not everybody saw what John said. You have to read. John said drawing to the forefoot is not that easy. They could have stolen 3. Well, yeah, it's true. Oh, she missed again. I feel like that Motown comment needs to be retracted. Perhaps we should rename Team Yellow after, say, Randy Johnson because of all of the strikes, swings and misses that they keep throwing. So Red's just going to try to pile it back in there, but now they're going to leave. If that goes a little deeper, they could. Well, they still got a pretty easy double here. You just got to hit that red just a little left of nose as we're looking at it, and drive it back and chip the other one out, and you're double and sit for 1. For now, anyway. It's got plenty of weight. It's coming down. Looks like it's curling up. Looks like they're going to get with it. Well, they're going to get the 1 anyway. You got to choose which one. Shot rock, definitely the one you want to remove. Incidentally, if you want to ingratiate yourself to the broadcasters, bring them shots on the rocks.
Or beers.
Yeah, but not till later. Actually, the more I think about it, the less likely it is I'm going to get to drink anything tonight. My wife is curling later, and she curls about as well as I do, which means she's going to get a lot of free beer.
I was going to say, I saw that she's on someone's roster as a 5th.
Yeah, she's a 5th on a semi-visiting team.
Keep it going, over further.
Wow, they almost hogged that one.
Yes, hit the back one.
Good, strong sweeping, dragged it. So now they're deciding how they're going to try to hit this other red rock that's still sitting there offending Gabe.
I'm sure that from the hack you see all of that.
I would imagine. And I'm sort of sitting right behind the rock and I can see all of the hack, so.
It is really nice and warm in there right now. It is a balmy 43.5 degrees inside the shed.
That is hot. That is like burning up. You're going to see people taking off their pants soon. There's quite a few people that curl in shorts. I mean, I question their judgment, but.
I mean, like this guy over on A?
Is there somebody crawling on A shorts? Yep, sure enough. And skipping too, which means that it's even more standing around. You got to admire that.
You do.
All right, so here's her chance at redemption on the two whiffs last end. It looks like it's coming at it. It's maybe a touch wide, but they got enough room, and it's coming down nicely.
That's all right.
That's coming, and it got just a piece. So
Not enough.
redemption. And now there's a zombie rock. Zombie rock being one that's still technically in play, but dead. I mean, useless. Not unlike my radio career.
No, the weight's there.
So it looks like Red's going to try to draw under their guard a little bit, and that stone's kind of taking off. So they got enough room if they can sweep it to clear that guard. And as soon as they get past it, they want to let off,
Look further behind.
let it curl. Got a nice little final turn there. It's definitely
That's well guarded.
it's hittable, but it looks like Gabe's thinking about taking the guard out first. To force them to keep putting it back and hope they make a mistake. It's good strategy. Bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy.
Just normal.
All right, plenty of weight. It's curling. It's going to get it right on the nose. Might even. Nope, didn't get a piece, but rolled out of the way. So now that shot rock totally exposed.
So here, Red really has two choices. They can throw up another guard in front of it, which is probably what it looks like they're going to
Or
do.
they could draw and split to the other side.
That would be their option.
Looks like they're going to have a chat.
Down 3 without a hammer this early in the game, I would throw the guard.
I would go for the split because you need points.
No, because I'm thinking guard because I'm thinking keep the pressure on. You've already taken one and then stolen one.
That's true. That's that paper cuts thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Keep the pressure on. Keep them guessing.
So either way, there's a lot of good options for Red. All they got to do is not mess it up, which is like at least 3 or 4% of curling. Execution. The hard part of curling is well, let's be honest, staying upright. But then after that is the strategy, and then the easy part is delivering on that strategy.
Nice try, Drew.
Which is why they call it basketball on ice. Did you know that?
No, I had never heard that.
Well, they used to call it chess on ice, but nobody plays that anymore.
Does anyone play basketball anymore?
Yeah, lots of people. Not Michigan, though, because we lost last night. Boo.
And there's the guard.
So they threw a pretty good guard, but it looks like that Red Rock is still strikeable. There's probably a good third of it showing out.
Well,
So they'll,
Yeah, as I say, definitely there's more of it showing than there was behind the prior guard.
correct. And if they come at it with a sort of like slightly downweight hit, I mean like normal down, not really far down, they've got enough curl that they should be able to get across the face and hit and roll under that now double guards in the center. So there's a good play here. Again, all you got to do, not mess it up. All right, here's the delivery. He says control down. It's looks like it needs to curl quite a bit. It looks like it's going to get to it, but it isn't going to get the roll that they wanted. So they're going to get that rock out of there, which is fine. That's the first goal. Oh. No, that rock was still in play. They tripped over it. See, that zombie rock will get you every time. If you were watching on, could they see that in-house camera?
No, they cannot see the in-house camera.
Oh, well then, it sucks for you. But if you were watching on that, they had a big fight over the zombie rock, and 3 people are now in critical condition. You can't see whether I'm lying or not, so it seems fair. All right, so red's going to try to draw under this nice little center guard position, but it looks like they're going to come up a little short and just add to the pile. Oh, man, they just got past it. That is some solid sweeping right there. Looks like it maybe rubbed
a
it.
Reversed handle or something.
Yeah, because it went out the other way. All right, so now it's an easy hit and stick for one.
Which is also fine when you're up by this much.
Sure. And it's
Not
wide
that it's
open.
that much, actually. But
Well, it was that much until they blew it. Because, you know, they blew it.
they're still doing better in this draw than you and I are.
I mean, we haven't lost.
We haven't
or
won
given up
either.
any points. As a matter of fact, we have executed all of our calls perfectly.
Oh, people who were listening to me last draw know I am nowhere close to doing this perfectly.
Well, so far since I've been here. So mathematically, I make you perfect. That's what we figured out. Just send away to NASA to calculate how that works. All right, looks like the hit's going to come in. Looks like it's going to stick around. It looks like yellow's going to get their one. So that's good. They've recovered. They've reestablished their game of they're what, like a 3-hit wonder now? Occasional hits.
Occasional hits.
They've gone from being Motown to more like Stax.
Oh,
records down in Memphis. You know,
So
they occasionally have a hit here and there. Now comes the real strategy conversation here. Jeremy's got to figure out which side he wants to stand on. And because he's sweeping by himself. Gabe has apparently run away and abandoned his team as he is known to do. Leaving the vice, Stephanie, to call the shot. But Catherine, the lead, she's still good, so she can just throw regular, but she just has a little less help. It's like a 50% sweeping capability now. So she's going to throw heavy to make sure that Jeremy can get it there the rest of the way, and it looks like it's maybe a little too heavy, actually.
No.
Yeah, it looks through.
It's back line.
She says it's back line, but we'll find out. Looks a lot more in back line. Yeah. Just a few inches too deep, which is a common thing that both TJ and I hear all the time.
And here comes Gabe.
So Gabe has returned to his team. They seem to have forgiven his abandonment issue. What do you think he was doing?
I think that was chipped to the facilities.
The facilities. That's disgusting in her. We learned.
Oh, so is the facilities.
Yes, well, we learned in the debates this year that using the facilities is disgusting and nobody should do it. Which is why the Pope, you know, uses the woods.
We apologize for the moment for all the bad folks.
So far, we've registered 0 objections. John, how do you feel about that? No response. All right, so now she's throwing the burner at it. Gay wants nobody to touch the rock. It's coming right to it. It's going to both go away, which is the right call here early in the end. You'll have to excuse my illness. It's caused by curling.
All right, well, that is just barely in the house. So free guard zone will not be in effect for this shot. And Gabe is going to take full advantage of that by removing the stone. He has decided apparently that it defends him, and it shall be removed.
Yep.
Lot of weight.
Right down to it, no roll.
Line looks good.
Nice throw.
And that was a nice little hop to get out of the way of that stone. And yet again, we got a clean house.
Kind of like over here. Guys like that? No. Two guard.
All right, I returned with Coke. What did I miss?
You missed Gabe deciding that a stone that was biting the house offended him, and he had it removed.
Oh, well, that sounds right. I also got a soda while I got the Coke, in case there was some confusion. There seems to be an unauthorized coaching visit there by famed curling sweater enthusiast Tony,
I like a little
otherwise
roll
known
this
as
way.
Joe.
Nice shot, Mark.
If you guys aren't following his sweater on Twitter, by the way, you're missing out.
Well, we discussed that. The account has been somewhat dormant. Pete has been slacking on doing anything with it.
Pete, get your stuff together. I think technically I have access to this too, and I could do something, but I haven't bothered.
Well, that would require you to have an idea.
Well, I only have 3 other Twitter accounts, and if anybody who does follow me on Twitter knows, I hardly ever use at all.
All right, we're back to a clean house yet again.
When you have kids, much harder to achieve.
Depends.
Yeah, if they can clean. I mean, when they're really small.
See, if you're smart with little kids, what you do is you wrap them up in double-sided tape.
Yeah, right. Just let them roll around. They
There
pick
you
up
go.
everything. Oh, we got one of those suits for Lizzie that's it's made out of a mop.
That works too.
So you just let her go, and then she's filthy. But the floor is clean.
Well, then you have a better excuse for bath time for the kids.
Right.
All right, this one is sailing through. Gabe puts the brush to it.
Brush. What are you, Canadian?
What, eh?
Eh? Let's talk about Canada for a minute, because we're sure we've got people who know about Canada. Why don't they have real bacon? You would think as like a first world developed country.
They have their own bacon.
No, that's ham. I'm Jewish and I know that.
I wouldn't know. I don't eat bacon.
I feel like you're missing out.
I don't feel like I'm missing out.
You have turkey bacon.
I have turkey bacon.
Pretty good. It's quality stuff, actually. We're teaching the baby what sound the pig makes, and the answer is sizzle, sizzle. A pig is a magical animal. It's made of barbecue and bacon and ribs. And you would think that that would be a dangerous thing to have walking around, what with all the other hungry animals, but no, it works out great.
I am not myself certain that they actually exist, given the fact that I do not believe McRib contains any of them.
Well, let's talk about the McRib for a minute here, because that you bring up a good question. Nobody has a problem with a pork-based patty slathered in barbecue sauce with pickles and onions. That is a great thing. But why is it shaped like vaguely that it has bones? Because what are you supposed to think? You're supposed to think this was sliced off of a full rib, and you're somehow magically able to eat the bones? Or you're just supposed to get the idea that this is made of the same stuff as ribs, or what? I don't know. Somebody chime in and explain that to us. Call the show.
I don't think they can call the show.
Well, they can type.
I think you spend too much time on your show.
Well, I'm used to having a call-in number. I can just tell them. Call in. Argue back. Nobody does because we don't ever answer the phone. Also, curling is going on.
Gabe is yet again calling for the hit. The red stone is nestled on the edge of the forefoot.
You know, with all the hitting that he does, somebody might file an abuse claim. He's abusing these red rocks. I mean, he's just pounding them relentlessly. Real solid throw here. I would say she's overcome her earlier misses. Would you?
I would agree. I think it's also the aspect of better ice calls and getting accustomed to the fact that it's really running straight with how warm it is out there.
Well, except that her two that she missed previously didn't run straight. They really moved. That was, I think, it was hard to ascertain. It depends which direction you're going to, because there's different lanes here.
I mean, as I'm peering up at the magic screen over my head,
It's getting warmer in there.
very.
It's all that brushing, eh?
That and the ice is getting warmer too, over on the A side.
You could say it's because Potomac curlers are the hottest in the GNCC. Haha.
It probably doesn't hurt that it's in the 60s outside.
Well, the whole country's in the 1950s currently, so I mean, if we get to the 60s, that's an improvement. Yahtzee!
Not touching political humor today.
What?
What?
You're gonna make this much less fun for me.
I'm trying to appeal to a broad audience.
Right here, Tom.
Well, broads aside, we just want any audience.
I think he's got the hit that he wants.
Yep. Crack.
This is the hit you are looking for.
As we say at Potomac when I'm around, and only I say le whack, which is actual French Canadian for the whack.
It is also a jet-powered curling stone-looking trophy.
That's true, but you can win if you throw the best hit. But that's at home. I left it at home. That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
It's also the name of a beer produced by the Ruhlman Brewery in Carroll County, Maryland.
I missed that.
Yeah, well, we can get some more. I just have to get around to doing it. But if you are interested in some Ruhlman beer, you can come to the beer festival at Nats Park on April 22nd.
I will be going there on the 22nd.
22nd.
I know, I heard you.
Yeah.
It's
Passover will be over then.
That's not the issue.
Oh, okay. I checked that though because
I'm the spoil sport in my office. I brought up that they planned something for Passover.
Hard.
aha. Well, we'll be debuting a new beer that we made special for that festival, which is made with and they missed the open hit.
Swing and a miss.
It's it has sweet potato in it because we grow sweet potatoes there at the farm where the brewery is, and so that extra sugar helps to boost the ABV and gives it a little character. I haven't got to have it yet. I was just informed.
That actually sounds delicious, though.
Yeah, and we have to come up with a name for it. So if anybody's got a good idea for a name, let us know. You can get Dan Quayle to write the label. See if he can spell sweet potato. Or if he spells sweat potato-y.
You know, on the other hand, that might not be bad if he still has a sense of humor about himself.
That's true. I would think he does. You know, surprisingly, has a sense of humor. Spicer seems to get that everybody is laughing at him on Saturday Night Live.
That one I'm not so sure about.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So it looks like now they're going to tuck one in underneath of this one.
You might as well. I mean,
Kind of deep.
The yellow is sitting there almost biting the 8.
Well, and red's got hammer, so they got to really make it a challenge for him because obviously right now they could just outdraw him. So if they can get something in tight, it makes it a difficult draw for red. And won't be able to hit it if it's behind the guard.
I think they're looking at the promote now.
Yeah, they're going to try to the tap up. Also, not a bad call. That overcurled, though, for that tap.
But that's fine.
But that's not bad.
That's perfectly fine.
So now they're drawing against 2, and the easy call here is to just draw to the full 8 and take your point.
Well, there's not much else in an option.
Well, right, but it's a good move by yellow to make it so that red can only get 1 here. looks like they're drawn to the
Yeah, that's the smart
rock that they
move.
just threw, so they got some backing there,
Exactly.
which is a good call. And just kind of rub on it and sit.
And right on it.
Beautiful shot. Very good shot, Red.
And that is one.
Good shot, Red. What's that paper cut thing again?
Death by 1,000.
What if it takes more than 1,000? Is there like a
I don't think there's a corollary for more than 1,000.
metaphor for that? Like death by 1,073 paper cuts. Like what are the other 73 for? It's like, well, you know, we just didn't die yet.
1,001 Arabian paper cuts?
Sure. Hey, Scheherazade doesn't got 1,000,000 of them, just 1,001. All right, so here comes Red coming back the other way.
First stone of the 6N.
We really need some sort of automated way to switch these cameras, like a stick.
You really just need the control to be down here.
Yeah, or a stick.
Gabe is calling for him to draw in.
It's not a standard protocol, but the free guard rule means he can't just hit things. There's nothing else for him to hit.
You can always hit. The only problem is if you remove it.
Well,
goes back.
right. Yeah, but he doesn't seem to be interested in just rubbing stones together. I mean, not while he's curling anyway.
Make fires that way.
Yeah, I don't know what he does in his off time. However, he wants to rub things together is his own business. I don't get into that.
Yes.
That looks heavy. Looks like it's going pretty deep. Might stick around, but it
Nope.
did not. So that was a pretty useful stone. They're going to draw underneath their garden here.
Smart thing to do.
Yep, and if they come up short and they throw another guard on the other side of the center line, not too bad either. That looks pretty heavy, though. I think that's sailing through.
Well, as we were discussing, throwing guards and draws with a stick can be very tricky.
Almost like Run DMC level tricky. But it looks like that's going to actually work out. That is really going to work out for him. That finished really well. It's hittable, but the weight was real good. So Gabe wants a really lightweight takeout here. I guess he's just sort of tap it out of there and stick around. He's got to get just across the nose to roll under the guard.
A little more.
The line looks a little narrow, but it's hanging out there, so they're going to clear the guard, no problem. So there's this thing about sweeping from one side or the other to try to increase the curl or decrease the curl, right? So was he doing the right thing sweeping from that side?
No, he was doing the right thing to encourage it. I don't know that directional sweeping works as well as everyone thinks it used to. And if you do it well, and I can be honest about that one, with the right pads, it works a great deal.
Well,
and
with those cheating pads, it makes it.
Well, not even cheating pads. I mean, think about it. You even had the hairbrushes last year were doing it too.
Right.
But the answer is yes. If you do directional sweeping, you do it well with the old pads, it works fantastically.
So the idea is to encourage the rock to curl, you want to be sweeping from the side that it's curling away from.
With the curl.
Yeah, with the curl closest to the stone.
Correct.
And to try to hold it up, you want to be sweeping against the curl closest to the stone. Yeah.
And it's all based on the micro scratch theory. I think it's...
Which we're not sure is real, because...
Oh, I just quieted down, just looking up real quick to see if that's... He's peeling guards, but it's... that top that's done this above the house is actually above the house. So he's only dealing with the one in the back, and he's peeling guards, so he can get to it later. But anyway, going back to directional sweeping. The old pads did it. I haven't played with the new pads yet to see anything with the friction. But it's based on that whole...
Look at that. Ooh. They got the peel double. That was a creative play.
And it worked well.
That was not the called shot. There's zero chance he knew that was going to happen.
But going back to it, the issue is just whether or not you believe in the micro scratches and Bob of the Stone latching onto them.
Right.
So,
which is all of it is totally unfounded, unproven. Like,
actually, I thought there was that university in Sweden that put out the survey
They
that
tried.
said they proved it.
well, I don't think that there's a consensus though. Much like global warming, it's not proven truth yet.
I will not be dealing with your alternative facts on this broadcast, sir.
Right. We have a lot of people who work for NOAA and various other like weather dorks here at the curling club. So surest way to piss them off, suggest them that climate science is fake. You want to watch a bunch of nerds get angry.
Well, then again, we also have a bunch of rocket scientists who want to put a laser in a shark.
It's true. I don't see a problem with that.
I don't either.
Why wouldn't you put the laser on the shark?
Because we're not getting $1 billion.
Well, if you've got sea bass, though, I mean, it's pretty close, right?
Sea bass with what?
Freaking lasers on their heads. I mean, just, you know, but they're really angry sea bass.
But they're sea bass.
Yeah, it still worked.
I
You didn't
will
see the
not-
documentary?
I will not put up with your alternative fish on this broadcast, sir.
Nice. Oh, they're going to get this double whack here. Ba-bow, ba-bow.
And everything's moving.
And leaving only 2 yellow guards and nothing in the house. That was a really dynamite shot right there.
So there are those 2 high guards in front of the house, though, still.
Right, which are easy enough to hide behind, especially if you can hide kind of high in the house. You're a little tight to them, so it's hard to get to. But if you end up deep, then just follow you down and punch you out.
Yeah.
Yep. Sleep.
Is that an Everclear song or Wallflowers or one of those other ones? About the Anywhere You Go, I'll
Gin
follow
Blossoms.
you down. Something like that. Whatever. All those bands are the same. Hard to tell them apart. One of them had Bob Dylan's kid in it, right?
Probably, but you're asking me to remember music, and for anyone who really knows me,
If it's not Broadway, you don't. Yeah.
Hey, we do not knock the Broadway.
I didn't mock it. I'm just saying that that's your strength. And opera, I guess, right?
No, mostly musical or theater. Hey, anytime I can wander around either humming songs that are inappropriate one way or another, that a couple people in the club will get it.
Yeah, it's a
chuckle
lot
out of.
of Avenue Q and Book of Mormon for you. Little Shop of Horrors.
Keep going.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of songs that you can hum without the words and not get in trouble.
The Producers.
Yeah, that one's a there's a lot of good awful things in that. The South Park movie got a lot of good songs.
Except we do blame Canada.
Well, for everything.
Yeah. Because we're not a real country anyway.
Right.
What do you like?
And they made Celine Dion, so that was really Canada. We know you're always sorry for everything, but yeah, they did. They made Celine Dion. Which is made of French Canadian.
It's like I keep thinking of the fact that she was in the Eurovision contest for Switzerland.
Sure.
You have no idea what I'm talking
No,
about.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
But that was a nice little tick to roll in there. So now that they sort of tick that yellow one a little bit further behind the guard and definitely on. So now they're sitting 2.
Really a perfect shot because their backstone is sitting on the tee.
Right. And, I mean, it's not covered up exactly, but they're coming at, I mean, it's a big wide port. They're going to get the 1, but it's effectively a good split.
Yes. Sleeping.
That looks like that's over curling.
Not there. It's just a question of where will it end up.
It got right to the nose.
Nice.
Ended up being a really good shot. It sort of slid over just a touch.
But from the right-hander hack that's visible completely.
Oh, yeah. Big giant target up. What is this, the dikes?
Well, no one else has dropped their brooms, so.
Yeah, well, they're not doing it right.
So he got away with it.
Apparently, Potomac did pretty well at the dikes this year. They won the boat race this year.
I heard that one.
Yeah.
You know rule number 1, though, about that.
Yeah, always win.
We do not speak of it. I'm looking at you, Denver Curling Club, who decided to post pictures of the prep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
They're like distinct competitive advantage.
Like, but we didn't show pictures of the actual boat races. Like, it doesn't matter.
So we have a robust boat race training program here at Potomac, actually, which I went through.
You were a 3-time champion.
Well, I didn't win my first time out, though. I crashed in the first heat. My boat sunk.
Way wide. It's got a curl.
But I trained Ricky Snoots, who was one of the victorious boat racers
Line's good.
this time around.
I agree with this call too. Come from the outside.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one with a 20-foot pole.
I think it's a lot of ice, though.
It depends how hard she's going to throw it, though, right? Because if she wants to get across the face and try to roll under.
No, agreed. That's going to be a big question.
Yeah. Well, if you throw it too hard, you will
You'll
get
roll out the other way.
Yeah, you'll punch it out and you'll go the other way, or you'll catch the rock a little too thin. You won't get any kind of roll. She threw a burner at it, man. That's got a lot of weight. I think she's going to end up outside the nose and it's going to roll out. It's not going to curl up enough. Settled down a little bit. And it did get the roll.
Wow.
Wow. That was a really good shot. So sort of just a gentle takeout. Worked out for him.
Now that one I think is probably at most half visible from the hack.
This is where if you throw with the wrong hand, it's a big advantage.
Yep.
I like something here.
This is why Schechter, good to have. Because he's soulless, left-handed.
Only when he remembers that he needs to leave open that side of the sheet.
Yes, well. We shall not criticize him too badly since he isn't here to defend himself. Of course, he could join in on the live chat. He's probably teaching children.
I was about to say, he's probably teaching children.
Yeah, but who cares about children? It's not like they're our future, right?
Teach them all not to lead the way.
I guess. I don't know the rest of that song. Got a lot of weight on that. Hoping it's going to get to it. It barely did, but all that weight carried. That was good.
You gotta give me some weight.
It did not curl up as much as they were hoping for. But it worked out for them. They got away with it.
That's all it has to do, though.
That's right. Well, so now that the play is probably to try to hide behind. The question is, can they execute it?
No. One curl. Two down, yes!
Red's done a good job of tightening up this game, though, because it looked early on like Yellow was going to run away with it.
All right.
Oh, I like that. If you're listening and I suddenly sound a lot more relaxed, it's because Sam has come over to cuddle me. And it feels amazing. Oh, yeah, quite.
And this would be Sam of the Manitoba Tuck that we were speaking of earlier.
Yes, yeah. I have zero objection to any of this.
As I get a
TJ's
grin and
looking
a concerned
jealous.
look.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid of what's about to happen today.
None of which is fit for broadcast.
Yeah, my pants got a little tighter there. Good job, Sam. Thank you. He makes your pants fit better. I think he's just excited to see me because he hasn't seen me in so long.
That's because you don't come out.
Yeah, well. Too easy. All right, so they're going to, I guess they're trying to draw on top of the red one that's hitting shot right now.
Hurry.
Do they got time limits on these games?
No, they do not.
Ah,
I don't think that's curling up anywhere
it
near as
is
I wanted it
not.
to.
And good sweep to make sure it doesn't.
Oh.
Looks like that's going to be one red. Good steal, red. They're really hanging in here. It's another one. I mean, they're just climbing and climbing and climbing.
Yes, 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 yes.
We have a ball game, folks.
No, this is curling, not ball.
We're going to turn off our microphones for a few minutes while I beat him with the monitor.
It sounds like a threat or a promise. I can't tell which. So now it looks like there's going to have to be some real serious curling. You know, yellow was definitely taking it easy earlier. Now it looks like they mean it, which you can tell because Catherine put her hat back on.
Make sure it's over.
All right, so we're waiting to see where this red one's going to settle down. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good guard. Just a little off center.
Like 6, 7.
Gabe's calling for it in.
He's going to try to hide
around
behind.
the tee.
Yep. A little north of tee wouldn't be bad.
Nice throw, Rick.
That looks pretty. That looks heavy. It's hard to tell from this angle, but that looks like that's pretty solid. They are not touching it. It's curling now. It's really curling. Might even rub that guard a little bit.
Yep.
So a little tick and roll on. And good sweeping. They were able to roll it on. All right. Well, that was a good plan F for yellow. Now red's got a nice easy hit at it. I think she got it. Oh, it's got to move. Whoa, that must have picked.
Wow.
That caught something because she had plenty of weight on it, and then all of a sudden it just kept sailing out. Out. Yeah! No idea what just happened there. But Jeremy Concerned is now cleaning the path that rock followed just to hopefully avoid anything else. It's a weird sport that you have to like play and do maintenance at the same time. Although baseball is like that too, right? Golf, well, it's not a sport, golf, but it does require maintenance.
Copious. More than it's worth.
Yeah, golf sucks. I'm gonna take a strong position on that. You know, there's golf on the radio.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be almost as boring as curling on the radio. Like, why would we even have that? There's NASCAR on the radio too.
Why?
Because you got to have something to listen to until football season starts. But they do it pretty well. They have like one announcer standing in each corner, and so as the cars go around, they go around to the different announcers. So that first person she'll say like, and I see them coming around, and Jimmy's in the lead, and then pass on to the next guy. It's like, and I see them coming around, and Jimmy's still in the lead, like that for like 3 hours.
All right, well, that stone settles in just behind the tee between the 12 and the 8.
So yellow's got 2 in and a good split, which means that red's going to have to start removing things if they're going to hope to score here. Looks like they threw the hit nice and thin on the first one, and they managed to pinball over and get the second one. That was a great shot, Brett. Absolutely spectacular. That's a really long double.
Wow.
Yes, hard. All the way, all the way, all the way. Control.
So Gabe is again calling for the hit.
That double was like War and Peace. Like just really long. And thick. Talking about a book.
I understood what you were talking about. I was waiting to see where this metaphor was going.
Books. calling for the hit. It's kind of thin there, but it's going to get it enough. He was hoping to get a little more of it, I think, in hopes that it wouldn't roll quite so far away.
But that sticks around, even if it's in the back 12.
Indeed it does. 15 people watching still. Maybe they don't have friends they can call. Or they're all here at the curling club.
That's probably more.
These are like the only people who are still at work instead of at the curling club for the Bondsville. All right, so yellow took a shot, didn't, or red took a shot and managed to remove him. So Gabe's calling his hit again. He's got really tight ice on that too, but Jeremy's throwing right-handed, so that kind of makes sense. Hoping it doesn't go too far out before it comes back. Try to roll in the middle a little bit. That looks pretty narrow, actually.
But he just called never, so
He
let's
did.
see where it's going.
Oh, it's got plenty of weight, so it might not drift too far. Well, got right to it. Kind of
And
hung out
rolled
there,
out.
actually. Pulled out. What?
It's another zombie.
It's a zombie rock. So this is the second to last end here. And red is still down. So they really need to get some points here. They need to get the two and put the pressure on yellow with the hammer. You know, if they get the one and yellow gets the hammer defending one, that's coming back. That's not ideal for them. So they really need the 2 points here.
Yep.
Good solid sweeping, and red is in the paint.
Or the cloth, depending. Or the cloth, depending.
Or the cloth, yes.
It's not really paint.
Well, they don't know that.
We've already had that discussion during the last draw.
Yeah, but different 15 people.
I doubt it. I bet that most of these 15 are the same 15 from before.
They probably left it on and like went to lunch. Forgot. We're talking to their cat. All right, so she's thrown an absolute rocket at this rock, and concerned about the way it's moving, Gabe is called on the sweep immediately. And then just at the end, pulled it off. So it hit and stuck around. So now yellow's counting with that outside rock. Which you can't see from the house camera, but is slightly covered up by the corner guard there.
I think it's safe to say that that's reachable, though.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to try to draw under it, which also makes sense because now you got two guards protecting it. That looks pretty heavy for a draw, though. Hard to tell with the stick. That's carrying. It looks like that's going to go kind of deep. Gabe's going to make sure it does. All right, so yellow got away with one there. They're going to try to do basically the same thing that red almost did. Or they're trying to maybe put it to the other side. The indecision here.
And he's choosing to go behind.
He's going to draw in underneath. He doesn't want it all the way to the tee exactly. The tighter it is to the guard, the better off. If it's deep, they can foul and sit on it. That looks like that's going to run into the guard, though. They really got to sweep it to try to hold it out there. Oh, no, they were going the other way. It's light. Guard.
No, here it comes.
All right, perfect. Full 8. So effectively a split here. We apologize for the dead air. It's just, you know, curling is boring. There's nothing going on. A lot of walking and talking.
Kind of like golf.
Yeah. It's like somebody thought up something to do when you couldn't play golf, but used all of the same skills of standing around and walking.
And drinking.
Yeah, right. Most important skill in golf. It's the only part of golf I like.
I will admit I kind of like the walking part too. It's the part that involves swinging thin sticks at very small balls that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, that just sounds scary. Well, red delivers a solid knockout there to yellow and punches them out the back. So that split strategy seems to be working though. But by virtue of how high that last yellow was that they punched out, they could sort of climb their way out of the house exchanging hits, which, you know, a little less than ideal, I guess. This is the first rock, skipped rocks for yellow. We're going to go after the one that the red skip just threw. Big weight. Throwing real solid at it. He wants to just punch it right on the nose. Try to get it to stick around. Coming right down to it. Hit and stick. Good shot, yellow. Now red's just got to choose which one they want to hit. I would imagine they want to hit the one that yellow just threw.
Yes, because that's the shot step. But as you said yourself, opportunity to climb the ladder and see if they can't put it in a position where the hit on it would be out of the house.
Right. And then it's a question of trying to sort of thinly hit things and roll. It's a lot more difficult shot than just a straight nose hit.
You want to go for the double? Make him sweep it. Get the double. I'll hit it. He knows it.
And so this is red's last rock. Going after the yellow. And they want to try to get it on the nose.
Yeah, sweep it, sweep it.
And hope that the yellow hit on it would be out of the house. That looks like that's over curling.
I would say so.
That over curled, and it's going to whiff. Swing and a miss. So now yellow's just got to touch paint for 3. That is really unfortunate for red. Not what they meant to do at all.
Nope. Had to hit something there.
Picked a
Catherine's
bad
hats
time.
off again.
Huh? Yeah, the hat's off, so not serious. That's how you can tell. It's a question of aerodynamics, really. You know, with the hair, it slows you down, so it's good for draw shots. But when you're throwing hits, you need the hat.
Go, go, go. All the way, all the way. You got it, go, go, go.
So Gabe has like the hardest shot in curling here, which is, just touch paint. Like it's nothing, because that's always going to be bad. The yellow team is sort of giddy with anticipation of their 3 points they're about to get here. You think red will shake if they get 3, or they're going to play it back to just play it back anyway?
I would say they'll probably end up shaking. Because I think at that point,
Real nice. Line's real
you're
nice.
talking being down 5
Come on, kids. Come on.
with an end play.
All right, you're good.
So all they got to do is touch some paint here. gave through it pretty light and let the sweepers handle it. Now he's just showing off. Now they're all just showing off. They're just showing off. Look at that.
Covers the pin.
Box. That's just plain showing off.
And what are they doing?
They're having a conference. Oh, they figure they're just throwing back. I mean, otherwise they got to clean up. Nobody likes that.
I mean, time-wise, they're doing fine.
Yeah. Nobody else is, like, about to be finished.
Eric is...
Oh, and now that's it.
Oh, because Eric's to get the scraper out.
The senior Clausen has convinced them that the rest of the game is a futile effort.
All right.
So that's a yellow victory. Team Venison Sticks defeats the Marylanders in whatever round of curling this is.
I actually do not myself know if this is the A event or the B event.
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. It's curling. So now what you're witnessing is that they have to do more of that maintenance thing. They have to schlep all the stones back here, which they're doing. They have to be careful not to disrupt any of the other games and just like throw the rocks really hard. So I guess there's going to be another game coming up after this. Do we know
Actually,
who that
we're about
is?
to do a scrape.
Oh, we're going to do a scrape, so you can watch that.
No, we're going to turn off the video.
Oh, you don't get to watch a scrape.
No, you don't, guys don't get to watch the scrape.
Scraping, it sounds much harsher than it is. It feels pretty good, though. Just scrape all the pebble off. All right, so TJ's got to go do the scrape, and I got to go home and get a baby.
All right.
And come back later. So
thank you for watching all of us here at the Potomac Curling Club, the National Capital Curling Center. The broadcast will resume, I believe, roughly around 4 or 4:15.
That sounds about right. So make sure you tune in then. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. You can follow us and go to curldc.org, which is where how you got to hear, but post the links on your Facebook and Twitter and make sure that there's more people watching. 15 seems like we could have done better. But I give you, it's a weekday. People are at work. And, you know.
And off we go.
And they're not drinking. So
thank you very much, everyone.